Lanzamiento, aquí viene un batazo de Mundito entre right center field, la bola pica, se extiende, viene anotando Scott, empata el juego, también manda para la bola Turner anota y los Phillies se van arriba. Se prepara, Mundito en segunda, el lanzamiento, batazo profundo para el center field, la bola se va, Schwarber Bomb, ¡campanazo! Aquí viene el lanzamiento, swing y lo ponchó. Ponche de Alvarado, amigos. Hello, and welcome to Phillies Weekly, another week of Phillies Weekly. Jeff, it is a pleasure to be here with you, my friend. The World Series is over, and now we need to start planning for 2026, and that is kind of the essence of our show. Where do we go from here? It has not been fun the last 2 years. I mean, how the season have ended, or actually the last three, I could probably say the last three have not been fun. But look, this team is going to have some major question marks moving forward. And we're here to talk all about it, around trades, around potential free agents. How you doing, my friend?
Had better weeks, my friend. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I know you have had better weeks, but hey, we're here to cheer you on and show you our love and know that we're behind you every step of the way. I don't know, maybe do you want to start kind of you left CBS and now you're looking for a new opportunity, and I know there's some great things ahead of you. I told you, there's a long journey. You've had an unbelievable journey, and the best is yet to come, man. The sky's the limit for you.
Yeah, honestly, Oscar, I'm like Kyle Schwarber, JT Realmuto, Ranger Suarez. I'm a free agent right now. I've given 10 awesome years to CBS. Was unfortunately laid off this week. Paramount made 2,000 cuts domestically, and I just happen to be one of them. It sucks.
Big mistake by them.
Yeah. I won't comment. I gave CBS my blood, sweat, and tears, everything I had. I loved working there. I probably won't work there forever, honestly. I was treated well there, but unfortunately, it is what it is. So, hopefully I find something else.
I'm sure you're going to find something that is tremendous. Again, we all go to situations like that, and everything is a chapter. You pass a chapter, and there are greener pastures moving forward for you, and a person of your talent, your dedication, your passion for what you do. Look, there are very few people like you, Jeff, and I truly am blessed to have you as one of my dear friends and a person that I admire tremendously for what you've done in the sports world. So, hey, the best is yet to come, my friend. But look, we're here to talk about the Fighting Phils, and where is this? And look, we cannot have a team of better experts coming to join us today. We have kind of the Trism. Look at this. The great John Foley's in the house. There it is. John, how you doing, brother?
Good. How you doing, Oscar? How you doing, everybody?
The season is over. The World Series is over, or what?
Hey, the way I look at it, the season has just begun. Everybody's 0-0 now, right? And let's start looking at 2026. It was a great series.
I love it. Roger, great to have you here. Roger is one of the founding members of Phillies Weekly, and he decided he wanted to go in and join us today and bring us his strategic skills, bring it of how can Dave and the team build the 2026 Phillies so we can go to the World Series.
Well, we're 2+ weeks into our long national nightmare, which is when the Phillies are not playing every single day. And so I have nothing to do with myself right now other than speculate about next season. So I'm here for that.
Hey, at least the World Series was fun. Ty, how are you? It's great to have you here. Ty from Phillies Nation. Phillies Nation's in the house. What's going on, brother?
Yeah. I'm good. Excited to talk to you guys. Like you said, great series, amazing World Series, a lot of fun. But it's the offseason now in the Phillies. We'll get into it. A pivotal offseason ahead. They have multiple key free agents and a lot of different options, and we'll talk about a lot of them, I guess.
Yeah, look, it's Look, I want to thank Mike Gill, because Mike got us now. We are in the BFA network. So we're part of the BFA network team, and we're there with you guys. Thank you, Mike, for allowing us to join your prestigious network, and looking forward to bringing you the best of what we got here from Phillies Weekly. So, guys, look, World Series and a great World Series. I mean, it wasn't fun for us not having the Phils there, but it was a great World Series. It went to 7 games. Anything could happen. Anything that you take out from this World Series and the Dodgers win? By the way, it was incredible. I mean, the Blue Jays had the World Series in their pocket, and it went away from them.
Yeah, I'll start. So this was an emotional World Series for me. As everybody knows, Trey Savage grew up 5 minutes from me. So I knew about the family farm. I've been upset. People are saying Pottstown all week. He's not from Pottstown. He's from Boyertown, but I coach at Boyertown, so it's, it was pretty emotional for me, seeing him, seeing his dad, his brother played football for Boyertown. It was a really cool week, and it looked like he was going to win World Series MVP until the 9th inning of that game. So it was really tough, and I hope to connect with him this offseason.
That's good. Great kid. I mean, Miguel Rojas. I mean, what a home run. John, any thoughts of that home run? I mean, the Joe Carter revenge came back at that point.
Incredible home run, and I'm really glad we won't have to see any more Joe Carter footage for at least a little while. The broadcast overdid it a little, in my opinion. But, the big takeaway from this World Series for me was that both of those teams were incredible. Either one of them could have won. And one team caught the brakes, and you could be the Dodgers. You can have $1 billion payroll. You can have the best player on the planet in Shohei Ohtani, and you still need some of those breaks. Game of inches. It's frustrating, but that's baseball.
Yeah, 2.5 weeks. I was there in Dodger Stadium. I mean, this was at Rogers Center, but we had the opportunity of a lifetime. Roger, your takeaway from the World Series and kind of the Philly season in general.
So the Dodgers hit 203 in the World Series. They hit 198 against us. I mean, if we talk about baseball being a game of inches. I mean, luck was just an unbelievable factor in this. If you sit there and you think about the Blue Jays, they won an insane series. Seattle won an insane series against Detroit. Then Toronto won an insane series against Seattle.
15 innings, 18 innings, 11 innings.
Right, and then the Dodgers won an insane series against Toronto. And if you look at these things, I mean, all of those things came down to coin flips. And I think no series in this entire thing did luck play a bigger factor than our series against the Dodgers. And, but you look at this, that ball wedging under the left center field wall, just the incredible lack of presence of mind of IKF on third base, sliding instead of just running for the base, right? Instead of running for home. There are all these little tiny things.
Out at home yesterday. The out at home. I mean, a slight, to the
That's
right,
what I'm saying.
and he's not touching the plate.
If he runs instead of sliding, he makes it comfortable.
Thank you.
And they win on an instant replay, guy. They could have won on an instant replay play. Incredible.
But to be clear, it would have been absolutely the perfect ending to what was a thoroughly ridiculous series. I mean, you look at this thing and you just go, I mean, it was so unlike the regular season, right? I mean, the Dodgers would not touch their bullpen in the 7th game, right? They just weren't going to go. And you just look at this and you just go, I'm just saying, none of this is, I mean, I will say Yamamoto, I mean, the man is a god as far as I'm concerned. I mean, that was incredible. I was at the Madison Bumgarner game in 2014 in Kansas City, and I thought that was the greatest pitching performance I was ever going to see. And this guy did it 2 days in a row, which is not the first time, but considering the situation, it was just incredible. The only other guy who ever did anything that was pretty much the same thing was obviously the big unit.
Yeah. And I think
Ty, how about the out in left field when the two guys collide at the end? I mean,
yeah, and they pulled the string. They made the defensive replacement right beforehand, and it worked out like that. I thought Dodgers, especially in Game 7, they pulled all the right strings, and it takes some guts to just say we're not going to. you know the bullpen is the weakness, but to just not touch the bullpen and you'd rather have a starter who just threw almost 100 pitches the night before, you'd rather have him for almost 3 innings. That's a gutsy call, and it was the right one. And you're right that Roger, like a lot of the coin flips, it went their way, but I think that's almost like what happens to the great teams. They're, for whatever reason, like that collection of players, they're able to get those breaks. And I think that's sometimes a sign of a really great team. It almost feels like it's luck, but it's just something about how they're constructed. And in those coin flip moments, they get the breaks.
Fair enough, but some of it is luck. I mean, some
Of course,
of it
the ball getting wedged in left center. Of course,
and the umpire making one bad call at the really critical moment. That is luck.
Some of it's luck, and that's inherent to the game. But nerves of steel on these guys, right? Just to from throws to home, that we all know how tricky those can be as Phillies fans.
Well, the 3-6-3 double play, the 3-6-3 double play that Vladdy executed. You sit there, you go. I was with my Phillies gang. I was going, when was the last time the Phillies executed a 3-6-3 double play? I don't think it's happened at all since Harper's been at first. I'm not sure it ever happened when Hoskins was at first. I mean, 3-6-3 double plays are not as common as they used to be because people don't play first base as well as they used to. And on our team, we just don't get them.
Yeah, I mean, it was truly remarkable. How I love to kind of bring things in perspective. Let me go back here. Let me show you this. So this is where here's what has happened to the Phillies the last 2 years. So 1-3 and 1-3. But I wanted to show, particularly in 2025, I wanted to show what the Dodgers did. So they score more runs, 424. Even though I know you mentioned the batting averages, but for the World Series, for the entire World Series, they score 424 runs. Last year, they scored 594. One of the big issues the Phillies has had the last 2 years is we have not hit at all during the playoffs. That has been a big, big issue for the Phillies. From a pitching standpoint, look, this year we were at 287. The Dodgers were at 311. This is their entire postseason. They're starting pitching 268. The Phillies during the 4 games, we were at 225. Our relief pitching was even better than the relief pitching for the Dodgers, which was a big issue. Look, this year I mean, if we make certain decisions on that game 1, I mean, and I said it before, I would have probably brought Ranger in the 7th innings to start that inning and pitching 7th and 8th. Maybe Teoscar Hernandez doesn't hit that home run and we win that game, and we could be the ones winning the World Series this year. But look, baseball is like that. You make decisions, and you go away. But anything that surprises you from this,
I'll
the
say
Phillies
this:
got to do a better job hitting in the postseason.
Yeah, I think Dave Roberts. I'm going to go back to the Dodgers here. I think it's the most aggressive I've ever seen Dave Roberts manage. From Game 1 of the NLDS, Game 7 of the World Series. I mean, Ty mentioned it. Like, that's ballsy to go to Yamamoto after he throws 96 pitches, and you're going down with your guys. And I respected it. I love what he did in Game 1 with Rory Suzuki. I love that he was able to do that. I'm like, he looked at it as my bullpen sucks. I'm not going to have them lose me a championship.
And Sasaki got. I mean, they overthrew him, and he was cooked at the end. I mean, he couldn't throw strikes.
But he pulled him. He pulled him in the 6th game at the absolutely critical moment before he could blow the game.
And
that's when he brought Pages to play center field for Edmonds. Yeah. If he doesn't make that change, they don't win the World Series.
You know what I love about Pages on that play? He literally told Kiki Hernandez, get the you-know-what out of my way. You are not losing this series. Because Kiki Hernandez was not catching that ball.
And Oscar, you mentioned that maybe in the 7th inning in Game 1, Phillies-Dodgers, if you go with Ranger Suarez there, like maybe it's a different series. And I think it almost, in some ways, it helped the Dodgers in this series that their bullpen was as bad as it was because it forced Dave Roberts to just go with his best pitchers, even though they were starters. It's that aggressiveness, like you mentioned, he was as aggressive as ever, if not more. And that it helped them in some ways to have a worse bullpen because he had to go with those guys in relief, and that worked in their favor. And if their bullpen's a little better, maybe he goes with relievers in different spots that just aren't as good as Yamamoto when he comes out in that game 7.
But Ty, the thing that was unbelievable was how he was able to bring in Kershaw with the bases loaded, get away with that, and then he brought in Glasnow. He brought in Glasnow, right? And he gets 3 pitches, he gets 3 outs. I mean, that somebody was smiling on them.
Hey, he didn't have anything to lose. He won the World Series last year. That's what he said. What do I have to lose? Let me be aggressive here. And
fair enough, but I'm just saying those are 2 situations. Kershaw with the bases loaded.
I have so many players tell me too. Pitching in the rotation, pitching in the bullpen is such a different mentality. You almost need, like, especially your star going to the bullpen, you almost need like a week to adjust. I bet the Dodgers were thinking this in mid-September, like, okay, you guys are going to be doing this because you're not going to be in the rotation for the playoffs. And give them credit. They rose up to the challenge.
There was another amazing thing they did. They went 7-1 on the road, which is a very hard thing to do. I mean, they were amazing on the road.
Well, in fairness, though, Oscar, the road's been a bad place in the playoffs for everybody the last several seasons, right?
Yes, Toronto.
Right? I forget what the numbers are, but I think if you look at all these series, the home teams played under 500.
Yeah. So I won't spend too much time here. Here are numbers. I shared this last week. Here are numbers. We hit three runs per game, 375, Dodgers 325. This was our series against them. We beat them in every single category, but we didn't hit enough. Our pitching was incredible. Ohtani, 1 for 18 in the series. I mean, our pitching was incredible to win that series. I mean,
and that's what hurts most, right? That they really kept Ohtani under control, the greatest player on earth. He did not beat them, and they still somehow managed to lose.
I mean, but we need to also be honest about the role the home plate umpires had in that series. Clearly decided the 4th game, and I think you can make a good case that they were at least halfway decisive in the 2nd game. I mean, those were the 2 cases where the Dodgers were trailing, and where the decision to call a ball, led to the tying run happening in critical situations.
Our hitting has not shown up the last 2 years. I mean, that's the bottom line.
And then hang on, but look who we were up against. I mean, I'm sorry, those pitchers for the Dodgers were incredible against everybody,
except Snell. Snell, the last 2 games. I mean, he's like. I mean, yesterday was really good, but the guy. Incredible.
This was Ty's point from earlier that Snell was pitching way more innings the last 3 weeks than he's pitched for like 3 years.
Yeah, fair
point.
And that's what made the Dodgers so difficult in the playoffs, because Snell got healthy. You still had Yamamoto. You still had Ohtani. It's a crazy rotation.
And Glasnow was good enough, right? I mean, it was.
Yeah, it took until the postseason, but the Dodgers finally became the team that everyone expected them to be all season long. Not that they were bad during the season, but they didn't really look like world beaters until the postseason hit. And
they had all of their injuries. Their injuries all occurred in May, and they got
every game we were there.
September.
Every game we lost, we were there. I mean, the possibility of winning. And you know what the most incredible thing is? So we dominated Ohtani 1 for 18. Our only win, it was against Yamamoto, which was the MVP of the World Series. There's crazy world out there. Crazy world. So here's what the Phillies have done. And again, I'll show this last week, which shows that in 2023, we missed the opportunity of our lifetime to win the World Series. I mean, we almost got 5 runs per game. We hit an 821 OPS. Our starting pitching was incredible at 219. Look at relief pitching in 2023. That was our opportunity. We were 6-2 at home. Look, it was our the opportunity of our lifetime that we missed in 2023 when we lost those 2 last games to. By the way, those are the only 2 games that we lost the entire series in 2023. Game 6 and 7 against in the National League Championship Series. So. But that should have been the year. We put everything together there in 13 games. It was a missed opportunity there.
That should have been the year. 2022 should have been the year. I mean, maybe they weren't the best team that year, but they were up 2-1.
I mean, our
in a 7-game
pitching.
series.
Look at our pitching. Look at our pitching, 23 and 22. I mean, it was amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
And one thing that you have to give kudos to, our pitching, starting pitching the last 3 years again, and this year was without Wheeler. I mean, imagine if Wheeler would have been pitching. I mean, Wheeler, Christopher Sanchez, I mean, Jesus Luzardo, it would have been incredible. And that way,
maybe you are pitching.
To use Ranger more out of the bullpen.
Yeah. Maybe Ranger is pitching game 1 out of the bullpen because you know Zach Wheeler there. Maybe.
Yeah. Hey, could have, should have. That's what we're here to do, guys. Let's. So here's kind of the news.
So Oscar, can I put one last point on the Dodgers? I think that Dave Roberts gave a clinic in managing in that playoff, and every team is going to look at it differently going forward. I think that in the past, using your starters early in a season out of the series out of the bullpen was pretty unconventional. Now it's going to be perceived as the obvious way to win.
Yep.
My guess is that if the same situation happens next year, the equivalent of Ranger is there every time you need him.
For sure. And I can remember some other teams doing it. In 2019, the Nationals, it felt like they had like 5 total good pitchers on the whole team, so they really rode those top 3 starters. It seemed like Patrick Corbin was pitching out of the bullpen all the time. But I think it shows like there's a path to winning that way, especially if your bullpen is, not that strong. You can lean on those starters as long as they're healthy, and it can work for you. And it's probably a better option than just putting a so-so reliever out there and hoping it works.
Well, they obviously are preparing the starters differently than they used to, because there were many years when people would bring the starters out and they would just get crushed, because they weren't mentally, to Jeff's point, they weren't mentally prepared to be coming out of the bullpen.
This is an interesting question that I posed. Should the divisional series be changed to a 7 games instead of 5? Kevin is asking that question. That's something that I mentioned before. I do believe it should be a 7-game series versus a 5. It would be my preference. Let's just put it that way.
I agree. I mean, Phillies and Dodgers, that deserves 7 games, in my opinion. And you get a lot of good matchups in those division series that are over, feels like before they start.
I don't mind the 5 games. It kind of introduces a little randomness that I guess if you are the front runner in a series and you happen to lose, you're frustrated by it. But I think that's a little bit of the fun of playoff baseball. Anybody can win once you're in the tournament. And I think early on, it's not so bad to have a little more randomness, at least for my liking.
Yeah, I don't mind 5-7-7. I mean, I prefer 7-7-7 but I mean, look, you get the randomness in the wild card with the 3, and then you go to 5 and you go 7-7. I think the Phillies Dodgers series deserves to be a 7-game series, but hey, those are the breaks.
Yep, absolutely. Well, let's let's continue moving on here with some of the additional things that we have. So these are kind of the news of the week that I like to bring. Outstanding player, the Players Association gives the award, and the National League Outstanding Player was given to Schwarb, and the Philanthropic of the Year was given to Aaron Nola. So kudos to them. Also, the other interesting news, which I really like. I mean, Dombrowski said the other day that Zach Wheeler is doing really, really well. He's going to be spending the winter in Philly, and he feels great. And they're not anticipating any setbacks. He was working with the trainers a few days ago, and they're hoping that he will come back in the front end. And let's cross our fingers and wish Zach the best. So he's as close as possible to opening day. He can make the start, and everything is looking very, very positive on that end. And we know how important Zach is for this team, and we absolutely miss this guy, this tremendous guy during the postseason this year. So we're wishing nothing but the best. Moving on here, kind of a summary of the year. We were the second best team in baseball. We had the best record at home. We had the 5th best record on the road. 31-21 within our division. We were 10 games above 500 against 500 teams, 9-6 in extra innings. 26-21. We run one-run games. We won 35 series. I think we're number one in terms of total series on the year, 8 sweeps. I mean, look, this team was amazing. And contrary to 2024, where we had one great month, and then the second half was not as strong. I mean, this team finished very, very strong, both in August and September. So I thought we had everything in order for us to do something very, very special this year. And for some reason, it felt different. I mean, do you guys felt that this team was different than the last few years?
I did. Yeah, go ahead, John.
Yeah, the difference with this team is, but compared to last year, maybe the last 2 years, is that it felt like they got hot at the right time, right? They were winning late in the year. They felt like they were sort of finding themselves and getting better as the season went on, and the hope was that would carry over into the postseason. And and whether through luck or through playing the Dodgers or whatever it was, it just didn't work out. But they were good enough to win.
Absolutely. We had the best run differential. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, in the second half this year, like one of the big differences is after they traded for Bader, their outfield situation was just so much better than it was last year. And then in the playoffs early on, Bader gets hurt, and I think that in a sort of a coin flippy series, that's something that changes the odds a lot when you don't have Harrison Bader out there and his hot bat. Going down the stretch, it felt a lot different because Bader was on fire, and it let them play the advantages in the corners versus trotting out a defense and offense that was worse in the whole outfield in 24.
Yeah, Ty, to add to your point, like when they lost Bader in game one, you're like, oh, this is the same team as last year, right? It just kind of felt same lineup. There wasn't that spark that they kept talking about with Harrison Bader. I mean, you heard it, I heard it all of September, like how different it was. And when you lost him, even though he was kind of available, I guess, it just felt like, oh, that was the one guy that if you had to pick a role player, you couldn't afford to lose. It was him.
Yeah. I mean, look, this team finally nailed the trade deadline acquisitions right between Bader and Duran, and that hurts because it was previous seasons were like, Dombrowski blew it, but this year he got them what they needed, and it just didn't work out.
And I'll mention something, and I'll talk more about it as we go. I think the lack of availability of Alvarado this year hurt us significantly, particularly in the postseason. If we were missing an arm or two in that bullpen at the end, that could help us get it over the hump.
Oscar, back it up for 1 second here.
Sure.
Romano alone cost us the number 1 seed. Alvarado alone cost us the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have had to play the Dodgers in the first round, right? But we caught really, really unlucky breaks on having Romano and not having Alvarado. And, that, again, it is a game where luck is just an insanely big factor. And
you had guys like a Ryan Kerkering, Matt Strahm, they did what they could and more carrying that bullpen for months, and it ended up hurting both of them at the end of the season, which is a shame because it's like what you guys pointed out, Romano and Alvarado, they just
how many times
Alvarado had his
Ryan
issue
warming up? How many times you saw Ryan warming up throughout the year and not being brought?
I'll tell you, it was over 110 times. 110 times getting hot. That's a lot.
That's complex. I mean, it's part of the complexity, and part of it is not even Topper's fault. It's what's available. I mean, it's what you have. It's the best arm you have to be able to win games, and it is unfortunate. Look, hopefully we can get him back, but we'll talk more about it in the next few slides. So here's how our seasons have gone. So I want to concentrate in 2025 because we'll talk about certain areas. But look, our hitting, 4.78 runs as we did in the previous year. We won. We were second in baseball. We've improved over the last 7 years. We've improved our winning total, which is amazing. And the last 4 years we made to the playoffs. Look, we cannot ask for more. When people ask, well, I was on a show the other day. You want a Topper back? Look, who's going to tell me who can do better than Topper that gets you, to the top twice? I mean, it's impossible. Basically, it would be impossible. So we went. It's solid. I mean, our hitting during the season was very, very solid. our ERA and starting pitching, you see the continuous improvement of our pitching, and particularly our starting pitching from 14 to 15 to 8th and 2nd, 3.53 ERA. We had one of the best, second best ERA in all of baseball, but our bullpen was an issue, being 20th in baseball. Probably the word should not be any. It was inconsistent, which is probably the word that I would use.
It was inconsistent. I think the bullpen was a different creature down the stretch once Duran was added. And, I hate to single the guy out, but you got to think about what those numbers might be if Romano wasn't in there so often with an ERA over 8. So the bullpen could have been better, but I don't think it's as bad as that number looks.
But again,
well, one thing too, I want to point out.
Go ahead.
Well, one thing I do want to point out with this bullpen, last year all we talked about was, are the Phillies going to bring Estevez back? Are they going to bring Hoffman back? Who's their closer? They got that now. They got that on lockdown.
They got it even better than any of those two guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
so this year,
I take Duran ahead of any of those guys.
Fair enough, but if we had Estevez and Hoffman, actually either one of them for the entire season, we would have won the National League and not played the Dodgers in the NLDS.
I agree with you.
Yeah. I think we're all on the same page.
We got the trades not made, or the people let go last year. I mean, Dombrowski had a terrible 24 in every possible dimension, including his postseason, and that's just all there was to it. I mean, he saved it with Luzardo.
Yeah, I mean, 25. Look, this was a special year, and we had the opportunity. We didn't take advantage of it in 23. We haven't taken advantage of 25. And those were the 2 years, in my opinion, that we could have won the World Series easier than the other years, where I do believe that we had, 22, we suddenly got hot at the right time. 24, I thought, we had an opportunity, but we had very, very bad second half. We played 500 during the second half, and I just didn't think we had the momentum. So, but 23 and 25, we did have the opportunity with these teams to win the World Series. Now, let's go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you one slide on pitching and then a slide on hitting, and then we're going to see by area, outfielders, infielders, catchers, and then we go starting pitching and relief pitching. What do we do here? And I know you've been doing some fun stuff in Phillies Nation there, Ty, so we'll use some of that as well. But let's get into this. When this is 2025, this is this year. So basically, what you see is that our starting pitching was the third. We won 63 games and lost 44, third best record in baseball. Starting pitching. Our starting pitching has the second best ERA. We were number one in innings pitched. Allowed the sixth most home runs because we pitched so many innings. We were sixth in base on balls, and we were number one in strikeouts. Our relief pitching had the 20th best ERA, or we had the 10th worst ERA in all of baseball. We were 14th in win, 33 and 22. And then once Duran came on board, things stabilized in terms of saves, opportunities, and number of saves that we got. We got the second most saves in all of baseball, believe it or not. But we had the seventh most blown saves, with blowing out 27 saves, but that was before, most of them were before Duran came on board. So I think there's a big opportunity here in terms of strengthening our relief pitching, and I'll go into more details in a minute. So let's go over hitting now. When you look at our hitting, every category, we were 8th in baseball in runs per game. And by the way, we were 13th in the first half, and we were 4th in the second half in terms of runs per game. We were 11th in the first half in OPS. The second half, we were second. We ended up 4th in OPS. Against righties, we were 4th in OPS. Against lefties, 6th in OPS. Against with runners in scoring positions, we were 8th. But the two areas that are a big issue for this team, and it continues to be, is chasing, Castellanos being the biggest offender, and then whiffs. The percentage, we just swing too much and we don't make enough contact. And that is a problem. And you can see here the numbers in double. We were top 10s in doubles, triples, home runs, and extra base hits. and we were 10th in strikeouts, 12 in base on balls, and 12 in stolen bases. We were like top 10 in stolen bases, but when Turner got hurt and left for a month, that's when we were like seventh or eighth in all baseball. But when he went off, I mean, that's when we were down. So,
but by the way, Oscar, that hurt this team too. Trey Turner's injury. He was not the same player coming back, and he needed a while to get back. He really didn't have that time, and I was concerned about that when it happened. But I thought he'd be back quicker than what he would. And look, he just wasn't the same guy in the postseason. It was clear.
So if you ask me what are the two biggest areas that we need to improve is we need to make sure we have the appropriate bullpen. We have enough arms in the bullpen to beyond Duran, because we know Duran is a star. Beyond Duran, we need to have the appropriate guys backing up this bullpen and providing enough innings. We were 30th in baseball, last in baseball in innings by our relief pitching because our starting pitching was so good. So Topper relied too much on our starting pitching than our relief pitching. And the second thing is we continues to struggle. So as we start thinking about two areas, free agent acquisition and trades, because trades is probably going to play a role here, we're going to have guys that have significantly lower chest rates and whiffs so we can improve our ability to make contact and be much more effective. One of the things that the Milwaukee Brewers do so well. We know we slug. This is the other thing that I shared last week, which is huge. Our fourth hitter had an OPS of 720. What that means is that we were not supporting. If Harper was our third hitter, we did not have a batter behind him that could support him and back him up, and that is an issue. And the reality is look, Dombrowski has X amount of money. We know there's some arms going, some players potentially going out right now. I mean, Kepler being potentially one of them. I think Dombrowski was clear on that during his press conference. We're not gonna have Kepler. We're gonna have Romano, but at the same time, we're gonna have guys that are gonna cost us more. If we decide to bring Romuto or Schwarber back, they're gonna cost us more than they're gonna cost right now. So maybe that upsets itself. So it will require it. And Tim was writing about this on Patterson. It requires us to start thinking differently and potentially acquire a guy via trade that doesn't cost that much. Somebody like Ward or somebody like that in Anaheim, or that's a bat that we talked about it during the summer that could potentially come in and support being the fourth hitter and don't cost us as much money. So
what this team needs is the right-handed power bat, period. Yeah. That's what they need, and that's what they've lacked since Rhys Hoskins was here. You make the World Series in 22 because Rhys Hoskins was that protection, and they just did not have that. Unfortunately, they didn't have it in 23. That's where I always felt the missed opportunity was. He was out for the year. Dave DeBrow, Rob Thompson said, I would like to have a right-handed power bat. So I think that would help. I don't know who it's going to be, but I mean, Oscar, you pointed this out last week. Look at 4 OPS. Look at third base OPS. I think that tells the future of Alec Bohm right there.
That Alec Bohm and Nick Castellanos, that red 4 with the 720 OPS, or the right-handed power bat that we're talking about. Yep. That was supposed to be Castellanos. So. You can't blame it on one guy.
No. I don't want to blame it on one guy, but I mean, it's the reality. I mean, like a guy. Let's see, a guy like Tyler Ward, for example, which is a guy we spoke about in the summer. I mean, you make a trade. I mean, for Ward and find a way to bring a bat that is still arbitrary. I mean, he has, I think, one more in 2027. He's going to be a free agent. I mean, you would have him from 2026 and can have somebody backing up Harper, not costing you an arm and a leg. So, I mean, those are the type of things that you're going to have to start thinking creatively because, hey, there's X amount of money. It's not going to be much more than it was this year. We're already paying, taxes and a number of different things. So we're going to have to be very, very creative about how we approach those type of things.
But the payroll's going to be around the same, too.
I do think it is fair to say, not to pin it on one player or anything, but Alec Bohm, a top prospect coming up, 6'5" third baseman. Not that anyone thought he'd be a 40 homer guy, but if he's if he's hitting doubles like he did in the first half of 2024, this lineup looks a lot different. If Nick Castellanos looks like the guy he was with the Cincinnati Reds when the Phillies signed him. The lineup looks a lot different. And I think you saw in the second half of the year, even though Trey Turner was out for a big chunk of it, when Harrison Bader was just on that heater, hitting home runs and a lot of doubles, extra base hits, you could just see like how much the team needed something like that from a right-handed hitter, how much it changed the dynamic. And yeah, that's got to be objective number one in the offseason, probably after retaining Kyle Schwarber, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, let's get to the fun part. Go ahead, Roger. Before we start,
actually,
with the fun part.
I'll do it. I'll do it after you do this next slide.
Okay, got it. So basically, we're gonna go position by position, outfield. So here, I mean, look at the numbers. So what I did here, so you can, I put percentage K, percentage based on balls, and chase. I did it for everyone. Those guys that are utilities, Kemp, Rojas, and Wilson. I just filled those three areas, so it's not too crowded. But here are the numbers. For example, when you look at Castellanos, I mean, Castellanos was horrible. I mean, below the average on base on balls. Look at the OPS, 694, 88th in OPS plus. I mean, minus 12% versus the average in baseball. 700 against right-handed pitchers. 680 against left-handed pitchers on OPS. With runners in scoring position, 689. With the worst chase rate in the entire team. Actually, you laugh about this one, but Rojas has a not Rojas. Sorry, Mundito Sosa has a worse chase rate than Castellanos at 40.9. I think Mundito is at like 44%. But look,
but he's also not playing every day.
Yeah, he's not playing every day. But then you see Bader at a 4.2 WAR, 61 runs, 54 RBIs. I mean, despite that, Castellanos has 72 RBIs and 72 runs, but he played every single day until the end when he started platooning. 28 points. So, I mean, look, one thing about Harrison Bader, he's a chaser, and he doesn't walk enough, and he has a high strikeout rate. So just keep that in mind. But he somehow has a very strong OPS.
He hits the ball hard in the air. That's sort of that adjustment he made. And he runs with a high batting average on balls in play. At least he did this year. And maybe this was a career year for him. Maybe expect that to even out over the next few years. I think that's a concern for him. But he hits the ball like hard fly balls and line drives in left and left center, which is usually a good way to get extra base hits.
And the part that the numbers don't tell is what he brings to the game in terms of energy, passion, the confidence he gives. I mean, he gave a level of confidence to this lineup that made us almost unbeatable toward the second half of the year. And then, look, the reality with Brandon March, look, we love Brandon March. We love his energy. He's a platoon guy. I mean, let's just bear it. He's a platoon guy. 838 against right-handed pitchers. And against left-handed pitcher, 576. I think we have enough of a sample size to know what he is. He's a platoon guy.
We absolutely do. We've had the numbers for years now, and it's frustrating to no end that he hasn't just found. It's not too expensive to find a complementary platoon player to Marsh, batting right-handed. That should not be. That's not a huge superstar signing. That's somebody has to come in, accept the role, and understand you're going to have an 800 plus OPS against lefties, and Marsh is going to have his OPS against righties, and that's a really good left fielder. So it's incredibly frustrating that they haven't been able to figure that out.
I gotta give Brandon Marsh a ton of credit this year too, because I wasn't sure if he'd be on the team, but I wasn't sure if he would be in the lineup come July or August because of the guy on the far right over there, Justin Crawford. He kept him down. So I gotta give Brandon Marsh all the credit in the world for doing his job when he was asked to do his job this year.
And he did an unbelievable job after the first month that he started. I mean, he did not start it well. I mean, the guy was incredible what he did toward the second part of the year. But the reality, I mean, look, looking at his OPS, I mean, he started at 387. Amazing. April and
March. He never hit in April.
March and April, the guy had a 387 OPS. Then it went 823, 786, 766, 803, and ended up in the months of September and October at 1,003. So got to give it to the guy. The guy fought very, very hard, but he's not. He cannot hit against lefties. I mean, that's
he's
about
not an everyday player. And I think there's almost this cycle over the last few years where Marsh, when he starts to play better, the team puts him in the right positions to play well, only facing the righties. And then when he starts to play better, it becomes like, oh, well, can he play every day? And when he starts to face the lefties more, that's when it starts to go downhill and people get more frustrated with him. The team just needs to put him in the better positions to succeed. They can't sort of try to convince themselves that he is an everyday player because he's not. But that's not necessarily some horrible, damning thing on his career. It's not a bad thing to be a really good platoon player, especially when you're the left-hand hitter. You're going to play most days, and he plays a good left field. So yeah, if he's going to be on the roster next year, I think it has to be in a platoon role where everybody's on the same page. Like, he's just not going to face lefties almost ever, and that is better for his numbers and his career.
Now, this is what I worry about with Brandon Marsh because of Justin Crawford going to be around, and I believe he will be in the outfield to start the year. Will Brandon Marsh be on this team next year?
Well, that moves him to right field. I mean, probably. I mean, as long as they re-sign Harrison Bader, which I think they will try to do, they have a mutual option. He'll potentially. I mean, my guess is he'll decline it, and then they'll have to renegotiate maybe a 2-year contract or something similar to that. He could be our center fielder. He's our center fielder. Then Crawford goes to left, and then March moves to right because we know Nick Castellanos is potentially played his last game in Philly.
I think potentially, Oscar. I don't think he will be playing.
Can I suggest I want to put a straw man out there for everybody to think about. Ask yourselves how the betting people would feel if the Phillies returned exactly the same team that they had this year at their peak. Okay, so you're done with Romano. You've got Duran instead, right? But you're getting rid of Castellanos. Mm-hmm. You're putting Crawford in left,
yes,
and Marsh in right with Bader in center field. Mm-hmm. You have the same infield that we have this year. Maybe you do something with Bone, maybe you don't. But just for laughs, just play the whole thing out. And you've got a healthy Wheeler. Now, if you could bring back, if you could spend the money and bring back Ranger, I believe that team would be forecast to win between 100 and 105 games. And that is without, by the way, that's with mostly left-handed hitters. Yep. Because I honestly think that what you guys are you're looking at the numbers, but I'm looking at the actual scoring in the games. And I think defense matters way more than this team historically took seriously.
Fair point.
And when they started to take it seriously, it made a huge difference. And so I'm looking at this, and even if Crawford hits 240, he's going to have an on-base percentage that's going to be like 350 because he takes so many walks. And he's going to catalyze this team. So you'll be looking at the 9, 1, 2, 3 positions, the way you normally look at 1, 2, 3, 4. And I look at Harper. Harper has to do in this offseason what Trey did last offseason, which is recognize he's gotten older. And he can't swing at the first pitch when it's 3 feet out of the zone. I mean, the guy's problem on Chase is on the first pitch. Yeah. And it's it's completely intolerable. And the point is Trey in the offseason fixed himself in a really profound way. And then as Jeff said, he got hurt at the worst possible time. Incredibly bad luck. And I'm just saying, as a straw man to think about, we could do way worse.
I think we're on the same page. I mean, I want to move to all of them, and then we can bring the whole package together and see what we would do. Go ahead.
But hang on, Oscar. I need to say this because the immediate reaction from fans, but especially from Phillies journalists, was we need to make wholesale changes. And I
don't agree with that.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Now, if you look at the odds for the 2026 World Series are already out. The Phillies are top 3, I believe.
I don't think there's.
Yeah, they were third.
You can't get the right-handed bat unless you're willing to really increase your payroll. And I don't know if they're willing to do that. If they are, then
you make a trade. Unless you're able to make a trade.
I just look at Taylor Ward. He's been in a no-pressure situation. His fielding is not as good as it used to be. And he's a very low batting average guy. And, again, maybe you're only going to give him 200 at bats and he's mostly coming off the bench, in which case that's fine. But he's not going to be free. And I don't know who we would give. I mean, again, I'm not worried enough about the left-right thing.
I mean, everybody talks Bregman. The problem is Bregman is going to cost you. I mean, it's going to cost you another huge contract, and it's
going to cost you $30+ million a year, right?
It's not going to. Their money's not there. I have that.
That's why they're so high on Otto Kemp. By the way, this is why they're so high on Kemp.
Just so we're clear, the money is clearly there. They just don't want to spend it.
Yeah, no. I get the part. I mean, it's look, it's not our money. I mean, but the money. It's a matter of having a very clear budget and working to that budget and being smart about it.
But we make a pre-tax profit, I think, of 30%. Okay, I mean, it's an incredibly fat business, and it's like, if they actually wanted to win, right, the revenues would go way up after you won. I mean, it's a really good investment to if you want to go for Bregman, for example, to put the extra 30 to 35 a year down to grab that guy, right, and then go with the great fielding outfield, and just sit out, have somebody sit down with Harper, maybe have Turner sit down with Harper and just go, dude, take the first pitch.
Well, here's Harper. Talking about Harper, here are the numbers. Harper has 72 runs and 72 runs and 75 RBIs. 20.9.
It was not a good season. And Dave Dombrowski, I still don't have any issue with what Dave Dombrowski said at all.
Yeah, I mean, he basically said what we all know. I mean, he did not have the greatest season. I mean, look at he has an 844, 129 OPS plus. Okay, those are great numbers, but we still look. To me, it's about run production. Take a look all the way to the right. Hold on. Look at all the way to the right. To me, at the end of the day, Harper and Schwarber, I evaluate them based on run production. And Schwarber had 111 runs, 132 RBIs. Harper had 72 runs and 75 RBIs. I get that he missed a month because of his risk, and that's another big concern with Harper. I mean, in terms of Harper has been a player for so many years, producing at such high level. I mean, is injury concern going to be remaining something of an issue moving forward?
Oscar, you know what my issue with Harper is? He thinks he's 20 years old when he swings a baseball bat at Potter's.
Exactly.
He's 33 years old. You have to change something. That's why I agree with all you guys.
That's right. And, there was nothing that Dombrowski said that was inaccurate. I mean, he did. He had a good season. It wasn't an elite season. You expected him to be an MVP candidate. It wasn't that. So Dombrowski's comments were accurate, but a separate question is that what he should have been saying? To publicly speculate, maybe the face of our franchise, maybe his best days are behind him. I don't know. What you would usually hear is, it wasn't a season up to his standards. Still a very good season. We have no doubt that he's coming back.
I think the assessment of the season was correct, which is he had a good year. He did not have an elite year. And that is absolutely what we're seeing here.
It's correct.
And he's not going anywhere.
You know what I mean?
Well,
you're
here's the
club.
thing.
Do you say, he might not be the same anymore? I just don't know if that's what you do.
Here's the problem. We want all these guys to be honest, and then when they're honest, we're mad at them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the game, right? Like, as writers, you want, or podcast, whatever, you want the juicy quotes. But
guys, going back to this, there is a core. The question is, are we going to be able to retain the core? And the core starts with re-signing Schwarber. I mean, if Schwarber resigns, you're gonna have your two best run producing guys there. I mean, for the foreseeable future, which is a great thing for this team. And going back to your point, Roger, about maintaining what we have, Schwarber from an offensive run production standpoint, and JT Realmuto from what he represents and he means for the starting staff are absolutely core to be able to be the third team in baseball in terms of having the highest odds to making it to the World Series or winning the World Series.
But I would just like to remind everybody that in 22, Harper decided he wanted to become a 300 hitter again, and he did it.
Yep.
If Harper decided he wanted to be a 300 hitter again and raise his
will.
on-base percentage by 50 points, he can do that, and it'll be a lot easier on his wrist. Okay, and I would just like to see. I mean, it's a lot of it is what Trey did, right? Which is just recognizing that he's got a superior physique, and just use it for things that 33-year-olds can do, right?
If I would be a betting person, which I'm not, MVP Harper is an interesting bet to make next year.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I think we can bet on a monster year for Harper, but the key thing to me is, you got to have the other pieces. You got to have Schwarber, have JT, and I wish we could have Ranger. I don't think they're even thinking.
We'll come back. We'll come back. We'll come back.
We need, like, this team needs to give Bryce Harper protection behind him. Period. That will greatly help him.
Was the stat that Boris threw out that Harper saw the lowest percentage of strikes in baseball? Now, some of that is they're pitching around Harper, but some of it is you got to stop swinging the balls outside of the zone.
Yeah,
problem.
In his
Look,
best years, Harper is one of the most patient hitters at the plate, and he wasn't that this year. Like Roger said, there's a lot of first pitch swinging. When he's at his best, Harper is one of the better on base guys in all of baseball, and it wasn't that way this year.
He's at 1-0 75% of the time, right? Because nobody wants to throw him a first pitch strike, and so.
Look, this is our chase rate. Look at this. This is our three or two of our three top hitters in the infield. Look at the chase rate: 34.9, 30.7. I mean, Alec Baum is at 25.8, and believe it or not, Schwarber is the guy that chases the least in our entire team.
Well, he's the most patient hitter on this team. Period.
Yep.
That's why he's as good as he is.
So we need more discipline and better recognition of the strike zone. That's the bottom line here. From a catcher standpoint, let's keep this very simple. Look, this was not a great year by J.T. Realmuto offensively. Remember, he was better against right-handed pitching than left-handed pitching. So everything else was below. But what he represents defensively, and the other thing, I like what I saw in the second half of the year for Marchand. I like what he did. He won the game in LA when we won the National League East, and the other thing that he did, he beat the Braves with a massive home run in the doubleheader. So that kid, I like I like his age. So I like the platoon or the combination of both. Not platoon, but the combination of JT.
You know what, Oscar?
and Marchand.
I thought he really settled into his role when he knew it was going to be his role.
Yeah. But let's be clear, that role is a backup. That there's not really a scenario where we would be excited.
But it is one of the hardest roles it is one of the hardest roles in the game, right? You have your backup catcher, you're only playing once every 5 days.
Absolutely. I'm just saying, if they don't re-sign JT, then you do not have a catcher right now.
No, at all. That's why you got to re-sign JT.
This is the core strength. Let's not spend too much time here. We know this. Andrew Painter is coming into the show. The reality is he's gonna come to spring training. I would say there's an 85% chance that he's making the starting rotation, and he'll be a fifth starter. Look, the reality is that.
You're kidding.
What? You don't think he's gonna
send him to a psychiatrist for the entire offseason to get his head in the right place?
Well,
This is a guy who is not showing. He showed zero emotional maturity at AAA this year.
Well, it was a bad stint at AAA.
It was terrible.
But it sounds like he hit. By all accounts, it was getting his command back after the Tommy John surgery, just taking this long and it not being uncommon. Maybe that's spin
enough. I think the Phillies should not set any expectations this year for when he'll be there. I think that proved to be a big mistake. They sort of put a deadline on it. And when it didn't happen, all the questions now become, well, what's wrong? They had a chance to sort of spin it in a different way to just say, let's see what he does this year, and hopefully he gets through the year healthy, which he did. And I don't think it would be sort of viewed as such a big disappointment if they didn't put their expectations up here. Like, he's going to be in the rotation in about July.
July-ish.
Yeah. July.
I don't know.
I agree completely.
It's going to be August.
So the question, Ty, is how do you handle him? Go to spring training and win a job?
I think so. I think you have to say that and just not put any expectations on it.
I see him in the rotation. I do see him in the rotation. He's the future. You need to start building him. Do I build him in AAA or do I build him in the major leagues? And look, I think a lot will depend on how what he shows during spring training. He's going to have the opportunity to throw there and show. If he doesn't have it, then he goes back to AAA until he's ready to come up. I mean, that's the reality.
I mean, they're going to want him to win. They want him to win the job, right? They want him to be the fifth starter. So he's going to have
the future.
Every opportunity. If he looks okay in spring training, probably
because he's the future. That's where I don't see Ranger in the equation. I mean, I would love Ranger wants to come back. I would love to see Ranger.
Yep.
When Ranger went with Scott Boras, he basically a week later, Jesus Luzardo was in Philly. So the reality is, I mean, and look, and it's not me, okay? Look at the numbers. I look what the Athletic Bowden put a number against each guy. He has a 6-year deal, $163 million. The Phillies cannot pay that.
Yeah. Ranger is going to get paid like a number 2 starter because this market in starting pitching is abysmal. He's going to get paid like that, so I don't expect Ranger back at all.
I think the other question here is Taijuan. I think Taijuan remains in Philly for one more year because you have the flexibility to start him or pitch him out of the bullpen, and he could be your long guy, so you can play him or you can play around with him. And I think you because you owe him that money, I think you're going to remain. So
he's more useful to the team than just salary dumping him or almost having to pay to get rid of him.
Yeah,
so.
I mean.
Way more useful. I mean, so if I had to bet, I would bet that he's still in the rotation at the All-Star break.
Who? Taijuan?
Yeah.
Yeah, it comes down to Painter, right? If Painter isn't ready, Walker's your guy.
Exactly.
Well, and I just think that the issues with Painter weren't physical at all this year. I mean, you know, he obviously needed to get his command back and all that stuff. But the minute he didn't make it in July, his head melted down. And I'm just going, he does not have the same presence even that Abel showed, right? And you know, he had like one game all season, which was as good as either of the 2 great games Abel had in the majors this year. And, you know, one for us, one against us. And, you know, I think the mental thing for a starting pitcher is the whole ball game. And he has to show that he's got it. And he's going to have to show that I don't think he'll be able to show it in spring training. I mean, if he does, it'll be a miracle because something great's happened in the off season.
There are comments here that we should trade Taijuan. Yeah, sure. Not a problem. Not a problem. Mike had a question here or had a thought here. Hi, Mike. Great to have you here. If Alec Bohm is hitting 6, 7, or 8, he's fine. That's the other thing. We set the expectation in the playoffs, Alec Bohm as the 4th hitter and Brandon March as the 5th hitter. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, there's no way you're going to win World Series.
And you know what,
games.
Oscar? That was the problem in 23, right? Alec Bohm was the cleanup hitter, or JT was the cleanup hitter, and Nick was at the bottom of the order, and he wasn't too happy with that, even though he was hitting the ball. It's been a problem.
Yeah. I mean, there's other comments here, and I'll show the comments later on, but Hunter Goodman is a guy in the Rockies that people are talking about trading for. Look, he's a good hitter. Believe me, he ain't JT Realmuto behind the plate. I'll take JT hitting 9th if we need to, but the way he handled the pitchers, I mean, having Wheeler, Nola, I mean, Christopher Sanchez, I mean, he's just too important.
JT, go ahead.
Silver lining about JT's down years, maybe it keeps him affordable in a way that he might not have been if he had an all-star season.
Well, the other thing is, I don't think that Marchand is that far behind JT offensively. And, you know, and I find that he has been remarkable with the pitchers, way better than I was expecting. Not so good with the bullpen, but with the starters, he seems to have a real, I mean, he caught almost everybody at least once. And it was really interesting to watch how well the team did when he was there, which was better than I was expecting. So I look at this, I'm with you. I want JT back because I think he is a huge human presence. He's like 1 minus Castellanos, you know?
Yeah. So let's talk about bullpen. I think Robertson is not coming back, or at least for the first half of the year. And personally, I wouldn't bring him in for the second half of the year. Great guy, but I'm telling you, I don't want to go back. But there's something interesting about the Phillies and the bullpen. Remember when we beat the Braves in that when Ranger pitched 4.1 innings, and then we brought all those relievers. Every one of those relievers, except Matt Strom, threw above 97 miles an hour. This team needs to start getting arms that can throw hard. I mean, that can be effective at. I mean, we know Duran can throw hard. We know Alvarado can throw hard. For some reason, they didn't put Alvarado
for the 2 months when Alvarado got suspended until they got Duran, it was almost nobody got any strikeouts in the bullpen.
Yeah. I mean, Kirkering has literally told me, like, he has to improve that. Like, he has to strike people out. He's got the fastball back to 98, 99. Now it's the next equation. So, I look, they just did not strike anybody out outside of Alvarado. To your point, Ty. Even Duran, like, he pitches the contact at times.
Yeah,
it's tough, and that's
Tanner Banks was incredible, man. An appreciation message for Tanner Banks. He was incredible. I mean,
absolutely.
he did what a lot of other pitchers haven't done for the Phillies in a long time. So hopefully he can keep it on next year. Go ahead, Roger. Any thoughts?
Well, I just, when you put the way I look at this is that, we've got Duran for the 9th, Alvarado for the 8th, Strom, Banks, and Kirkering for the 7th. You got 2 open slots. Lazarus got an opportunity there. Griff McGarry has an opportunity there. And then obviously that's a place where there's a lot of talent trading around, right? You've got Pittsburgh and others who still have people who we would desire that you might be able to do a trade you could afford. When I think about if they're really serious about the Ottoman Kempire at third base, then trading Bowman, a trade that brings you back a real arm, a fireballing middle reliever, as part of the package, that's not crazy to me at all. But I'm looking at the bullpen, and I think the bullpen's way better than it was. And I don't worry about not having all the strikeouts because, again, the most effective guy was Banks, and he was not a strikeout guy at all.
I think that's a great point, but I do think there are situations where you really need to strike out, right? Like Kirkering
but we
came
got
in with inherited runners. That's true. Alvarado.
Here's the thing with Alvarado. Dave Dombrowski said at the Phillies end of season press conference that whether it's under the team option they have or another deal, they seem to be confident that Alvarado will be back. I think it is more than fair to be very skeptical of Alvarado going into next season. In 2024, his stuff, it was a big dip to the point where Alvarado in 22 and 23, he had pitched in more. He had been given the ball in almost more postseason opportunities than anybody else in baseball. The Phillies rode him for 2 postseasons, and he pitched his way out of trust in the 24 postseason. I think he pitched in one game that had already been decided, basically, and he pitched his way out of the trust because he was just not that effective in 24, and his stuff, like I said, was way down. And I know Alvarado said that this suspension, this PED suspension, this didn't have an effect on his performance and his stuff, but he came back. The facts are he came back with a big jump in his stuff this year at the start of the season, and he was suspended for testing positive for a performance-enhancing drug. And when he came back after all the time, he didn't look the same. I think it's fair to be skeptical. If his stuff looks like it did at the start of 25, he can be that late inning guy. If it looked like it did in 2024, that's a little scary. You need to pick up the option, I think, because the upside is worth that $9 million. But it's good.
I don't have the training. I understand. I understand what you're saying. Look, he made a mistake. He admitted.
For sure.
He went down. He was practicing for the 2020 after the 2024 season. He came to Florida and he started preparing himself like he's never prepared in his life, losing weight. I mean, working as hard as he could. And then when the suspension happened, he went back to Venezuela. If you go and look at some of his tape, he wasn't like in dirt fields just throwing the baseball. So it was
Mm-hmm.
not the same thing. His preparation is not the same. He's trying to prepare himself like he did in the beginning of last year.
Yeah.
If he does that, I don't have any single problem with this guy. This guy is one heck of an arm.
I mean, essentially after the suspension, he went AWOL. So to add to your point, Oscar, he wasn't doing what he was doing between 24 and 25. So if he can go do that, he'll probably
We need
be okay.
the first half Alvarado, the first half of 2025 Alvarado.
Yeah, I think at the very least, you just have to wonder, knowing or not, I'm not here to make a distinction. Whatever substance was in his body, what kind of effect did that have at his stuff at the start of 25? And I think you at least have to be a little skeptical and maybe can't bank on him looking like he did at his very best.
Yeah, and I think the Phillies will analyze that and look at what the substance was and what its effects are, and if they decide that's the reason he looks so much better, that's a problem. If they say he can put in that work and he can get in shape without that, like that stuff wasn't even doing much for him.
100-mile-an-hour guy that throws cutters
and that's why you need to pick up that option. That's why you need to pick up that option, because at $9 million, or even if they're able to work out something a little less than that or something different with a team option again for 27, his upside is so much higher than anyone else you could get on that kind of deal that he needs to be back, because, like you said, he's shown he can be one of the best relievers in baseball from the left side.
He's not our ninth inning guy anymore.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, our expectations are different. He's left-handed with a right-handed ninth inning guy. I mean, there's a lot of good things that can happen here. But I think it all comes down to what Oscar said. We have a bunch of guys who've got to have different kinds of off seasons than they've had recently, right? Harper and Alvarado are at the top of that list, right? And obviously Wheeler's at the top of that list. And
even Orion. Look, I challenge Orion to have where the hardest he's worked in his life, because we know the talent there. And forget about it. I mean, do what you need to do. We trust his arm. He has a tremendous arm. I'm telling you, how many people in baseball can throw a sweeper like Ryan Kirkring can? Very few.
Yeah.
He needs to be more.
I'll tell you what, Oscar. Yeah, he's working on that strength training and he's working on that sinker. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think it's paramount. I think it's so important for Kirkring to have a good start to next season, because with the way that this season ended, if he comes out, because, for example, just a couple rough outings in the first few home games, I think people might start to get on him. I think that's
He can't have the April that he had this year.
But a good start could get people, behind him a little bit. I think.
Yeah, but I agree.
I mean, let's be clear. He's going to have to get over that last play of the postseason,
and look,
that's going to be tough.
Yeah, he is.
Think of Trey Turner when he came here. Look, after June, this guy looked like a different player, and he's reshaped himself to be a tremendous hitter. He was the batting champ in the National League.
Yeah, but that last play was not what decided our season. And
Absolutely not.
No, it did not.
100%.
Yeah.
No.
I'll tell you what, the best thing Orion did was just face that head on and just say what he said.
No, I mean, I'm sitting there. I can be really critical when players are whiners, and my God, he was an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys, let's get to the meat of this. This is where you can play Dave Dombrowski's GM fantasy league here. So the reality is, here are all our free agents. So Walker Buehler, Max Kepler, Tim Maisa, CJ Garnett, catcher, JT Realmuto, David Robertson, Jordan Romano, Kyle Schwarber, Ranger Suarez, Lou Trevino, Alvarado and Bader. They both have options. One a team option, the other one a mutual option. So, look, the reality is, my guess. This is my guess. Is I want to try to retain the guys in the yellow. That's my guess. I mean, that's what I was trying to do here.
I think that's exactly right about the guys you want back, and I think they will have those guys back with the exception of Suarez.
Yeah, and Harrison
I'll
Bader,
say,
it will all depend
all right,
on how much
I'm
money
going to say
you want.
3 of the 5 are back. I'm going to say JT's back, Kyle's back, Alvarado's back. Those are my 3.
I
No
agree
Bader,
those 3. I agree those 3.
No Bader. Yeah.
And then Bader is a question mark, and Ranger is probably the biggest question mark because of the amount of money. Take a look how much Ranger. This is based on the Athletic. Jim Bowden, ex-general manager, together with the Athletics team, they decided this were the numbers. So Rangers, 6 years, $164 million.
Oh, man. Good for Ranger.
Good for Ranger.
He deserves it. But
Kyle Schwarber,
Yeah.
5 years. I don't know who's going to give Kyle Schwarber 5 years. This could potentially be 4, but it's going to be in the $30 million range. I mean,
And I think the Phillies will live with that. I think they will.
yeah, and the Phillies we're going to have to play probably on a 4-year contract. JT Realmuto, 2 years, $34 million. That's $17 million a year. Bader, 2 years, $20 million. Then there's the mutual option, which is 1 year. I think he'll probably avoid it. By the way, I'll show some key dates when things will happen. Then here are some of the guys that are there. 10 years, $427 million. Good luck to somebody else that is going to give Kyle Tucker that amount of money.
The Dodgers are going to do that. Don't you worry.
Pete Alonso, 6 years, 182. Alex Bregman, 6 year, 182. Look, I put it in green because he could potentially be a target if we decide to trade Alec Bohm and let's say you don't get Kyle Schwarber. Maybe Alex Bregman comes into play here. Again, he has our dear friend Scott Boras as his agent. Then Cody Bellinger, I know that's a name that have popped up before on the Phillies world. I don't think it's a fit. Another left-handed bat.
Just another left. I don't want him.
Yeah, but
I don't need another left-handed bat.
Hang on. The guy hits left-handed pitching better than almost any right-handed hitter in Major League Baseball.
He
The guy
does,
has
but I think
split.
I'd rather have a righty.
Okay, I mean, I'm just sitting
And
there
he can
going.
play center field too.
I look
Yeah.
at the output, and the guy's output against left-handed pitching is insane.
And he had a great year
Yeah,
last year.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying I think they
let
need
me
a
ask
right-handed
you a
power
question,
bat.
Roger. You pay Alec Bregman 6 year, $182 million, or do you pay Cody Bellinger 6 years, $168 million?
No, I don't think we're going to do either one of those.
No,
Okay?
I know. But if you had the choice between both of them, who would you pick?
I would definitely take Bellinger over Bregman. I think
Interesting.
Bregman has begun his decline, and you really saw it this year.
Yeah. I have a question, guys.
He's being hurt the last few years too. Every year he misses a month. Every month he misses a home. What I like about him, he's a winner. That guy's a winner. He's a tremendous defensive third baseman, and his play discipline is one of the best in all of baseball. I think top 3 in play discipline, and that's what I love. I don't need more. I need better contact. Go ahead, Jeff. You were going to say something?
Okay, so I don't think they're going to do this, but say they're interested in Gio Suarez again. You trade Bohm, you sign him, you get the 200 average, and you get the 30, the 40 home runs at that contract. Are you guys happy with that?
Repeat that again.
So say they're interested in Gio Suarez, right? They get him 3 years, $72 million. You trade Bohm, you're gonna get his normal 200, 210 average, 30, 35, 40 home runs. You okay with that?
Yeah, I think you're happy.
I think that works.
You're happy with that.
I think that
Yeah.
works. I do think so. I'm like a lot of people. I'm ready to move on from Bohm. I do worry that as much as I love Otto Kemp, that he's much better suited as a like Sosa. He's better.
Yeah.
He's not quite an everyday player. He's better playing a few different positions all over the field, being sort of a super utility guy. So I do think you need to do something at third base.
By the way,
I think the Phillies really are banking on that. I really do think the Phillies are convincing themselves Otto Kemp would have had a better year if he did not have a broken kneecap that he played through for basically the whole year.
By the way, my dear friend Steve Porter mentioned that Alvarado is all in right now. I mean, he's all in, getting ready for next season. So just FYI.
Good
when
to
Steve
hear.
Porter says that, you listen.
Yeah, correct.
When he says that, you listen. So I think there's a couple very interesting guys, right-handed bats. One is 30, the other one 34. Miguel Andujar, he was traded to the Cincinnati Reds. He's not a great fielder, but he's a good hitter. He could be a platoon left fielder if we decide to keep March in left. Him and March could be in a very interesting platoon there. The same thing with Rob Refsnyder, which was with the Red Sox, and he's a free agent. And neither of them will cost what Kepler cost you this year. And I think they would provide you significantly better production.
Well, I think you're going to get Kepler for numbers that look like Andujar. So I think you have to look at that, because the problem you got here is if you want to bring up Crawford, you got to give him left field because he's not a great outfielder.
Unless you don't sign Bader, and you're going to have to make some choices.
Well, but if you don't sign Bader, then I think I think we're at 5 to 10 wins less good team than we are now.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think. I think if you lose Bader and you sign Bregman, I think you're worse off than you are now.
I mean, certainly for a team that's a mess in the outfield, and you have Bader sitting there as an option.
Yeah,
it's
it's crazy not to bring him back.
I guess
here's the thing, though.
worry
He had a
is
career
the
year
offense.
offensively.
Yeah, you worry
Well,
that the
fair
offense
enough.
regresses.
I just want him for the defense. Okay,
Which is fair.
No,
sitting
and
there
that's more than
we have
fair.
The best starting pitching in the majors.
I bring him for the defense and the vibe. The vibe that he brings, the energy that he brings. He brings a unique
and that's
energy.
where and that's where I think they're divided on Bader. Are they going off the career year on offense, or are you going for the vibe? You're going for the defense. You're going for his club. I mean, it's a decision I personally do not want to make.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, because that you could end up paying him a lot of money over a good month or two, and ignoring a pretty long track record as a major league player, and it could be
and he hits 220, and everybody's mad at him.
right. And it's like, well, this is what he's done most of his career. It's tough, but he does have the defense either way.
John, you pointed this out. I thought you had the tweet of the year. I forget what free agents it was. No, it was Kepler. And you were going his career splits and what he had. I'm like, you're literally getting what you paid for.
Yeah. I mean, everyone had been upset with Kepler. He was doing what he was doing before he got to Philadelphia.
It wasn't a shock.
Yeah,
it wasn't a shock, and it was never a fit from the start because he's left-handed. Find somebody right-handed
on a platoon basis. I take Resnider or Andujar ahead of Kepler.
I do think you got to save money somewhere, right? And I do think this Marsh right-hander platoon is the place that you could do it. You could get somebody, as long as they understand coming in, you're not going to play every day, because that seems to have been an issue with a couple free agents in the past couple of years. You're going platoon with Brandon Marsh. You're going to hit lefties, and Marsh is going to mash righties, and we're going to go win.
If you guys are right about LA picking up more players that look like Kyle Tucker, then guys like Alex Call are going to be available. And again, we're gonna need somebody. If you're gonna get somebody cheap, get somebody who can play either right field or center field. I mean, we got left fielders up the wazoo, and we do not need a defensive liability. And honest to God, Rob Refsnyder is, I mean,
he's old.
Well, I'm just saying, he is what he is, and as a bench player, that's great. Okay, as a bench player, he'd be great. But I don't, like. You know me, I'm willing to take a chance on Marsh again, because I think fielding really matters. And I think we should have learned that lesson this year.
Yeah. By the way, Oscar, I'm intrigued that you put Devin Williams on there, because that guy can't be any worse than what he was last year with the Yankees.
Well, I mean, look.
Particularly now with Caleb Cotham. I think Cotham would save his ass.
Oh yeah. Caleb Cotham would be great for. I mean, honestly, like that is one of those. You take that risk and you live with what you got, but he can't.
I think he's different. He's a different experiment than Romano that came in after being hurt, than Kimbrel that came in after he was washed. This guy just came 2 years ago from being, if not the best, one of the best relievers in all of baseball. This guy is not
that was
hurt.
a great all-season move when the move was made. Yeah,
that's why I don't think I'm kind of skeptical he'd be available for 1 year, $10 million. I think there's going to be a lot of teams who are all going to say, let's buy low on Devin Williams, and that might drive the price up.
I'm just putting here what
Sure.
Jim Bowden said.
For sure.
I just tell you, I looked at the list of the 50.
I think Williams will be a popular candidate, because I think a lot of teams can envision themselves trying to fix him.
I don't think Romano's going to find a market. I would definitely give him an invite to spring training.
No.
He had
Oscar's like, no, mute him.
Voy a empezar a hablar español aquí. No way. No way.
I hear you. But to be clear, Devin Williams had a Romano year. I mean, it was.
No. This is like night and day. Come on. I mean, Romano was injured. I mean, Romano had like an operation. He's not the. I mean, no way. I mean,
Jordan Romano's May is going to be a case study on his terrible 2025 season.
I mean, it was
actually pitched good in May.
It was the worst season by a Phillies reliever in history, with a reasonable number of innings. But I will tell you, he has that feel of a player who was awful in this year coming back from injury, and next year you're going to see him somewhere else and be like,
I like.
now he's
why
good.
did we get him?
Well, I'm just good. Like
An invite to
us
spring
do
training doesn't
with
hurt
the
anyone.
vets.
Yeah.
No,
That's the
not
vets,
even that. Not even. By the way, he's a really.
Oscar's just a hard pass.
Nah, he's a really nice. He's a really nice guy.
I love
give
him.
it to the guy, and he's in Dunedin, so he can come over quickly. But I mean, I don't know. I'll put him with the Tigers or something nearby. I mean, no, thank you. I really like the guy, but
I'm gonna miss him. He was great to talk to this year.
He was.
I hated when he went on the IL.
But by the way, I really like Brad Keller. That kid is a pitcher, man. I really like him. Here's a couple more slides, and then we're done. But this was kind of an attempt. I mean, you don't think Roger he's going to be in, so or potentially not in. But I put 6 starters. Then I put the 5 relievers that I see. Alvarado, I put the $9 million there. There is going to be the possibility of a number of arms that could fill 12 and 13. So we bring an outside arm, or do we have Max Kepler? For example, a guy like Thad Johnson, he doesn't have any more options. He cannot go to the minor leagues. So do we start him there? This is a guy that throws almost 100 miles an hour, 98, 99 miles an hour, with a very good slider, has tremendous potential. He came on the trade for the lefty. What's his name? I forget his name already.
What's it called for?
Soto.
Soto with the Gregory Soto. Sorry, Gregory. Look, he's a potential arm. Alex McFarland shows tremendous stuff in the minors. He's in AA right now. He was the player or the pitcher of the week a few weeks. I mean,
Griff McGarry belongs here instead of Mercado.
Okay, Griff McGarry might be another of the arms.
I mean,
they consider
really
Griff
fit
McGarry
here.
this year. Yeah. They considered him this year. That's how
he
they thought of how he was pitching.
Well, he wants to be a starter, so that's
really
where the other
brilliant.
dynamic is, right? I mean, you're turning into a reliever with the whole issue he has with his control. But again, the guy has a tremendous quality arm, no doubt about it. And then I put how much money is potentially Alec Baum is going to make through arbitration, how much March. The way I look at it, everything in yellow could be potential movers. I put Justin Crawford already in left field, and then I put Andrew Painter in the top 13 pitchers that are going to be making out of spring training. So, and then the
by the way, Oscar, I see you have Alex McFarland on there. They got to put him on the 40-man. They have to.
Yeah, he'll potentially go in the 40-man. So there's a number of guys that need to be in the 40-man to be able to
be protected,
not be protected from the Rule 5.
What are they right now? They're at 30 with the free agents. They're at 30.
I think Tyler
30.
Tyler Phillies with Phil's tailgate mentioned 30 today, so I trust.
Yeah,
Tyler,
I trust Tyler on that too.
Yeah. So look, there are many movable pieces here. The question is, what do you do? If you do Brandon March here, you're gonna have to bring a partner. I don't think Andujar is as good a defender as a Refsnyder, so potentially Refsnyder goes and be the platoon with March. Do you bring somebody like Tyler Ward on a trade? I mean, again, this is the beauty of what the Phillies need to do in the 2026 with the 26-man roster. Now, another guy, just like Seth Johnson, that does not have option to go to the minors is Weston Wilson. And Garrett Stubb could be included in this list as well. Mm-hmm. So there's a song in Spanish by a guy called Rubén Blades, by the way. He went to Harvard, and the guy became a singer. He's one of the most popular singers and it's called Decisions. Beautiful song. And part of the song, the first third of the song is about they use a baseball bat in it. So just FYI, decisions. That's what we need to make here. So it's not an easy. I don't want to be in Dave's shoes, Dave Dombrowski's shoes, but look, we're gonna have a very, very good team. I think if you ask me, make one move, Schwarber needs to be back. Schwarber, to me, if Schwarber and Harper's come back, everything works. If he doesn't come back, things are going to be a lot harder.
Yeah, I think if Schwarber doesn't come back, then you throw all these charts, all these thoughts that we're expressing today out the window, right? Because now you're doing something completely different. Hopefully,
do you
anyway.
agree, Roger, with that he's the number one priority in terms of bringing back?
I mean, I will refuse to even contemplate a future in which he does not come back. I mean, to
Ty,
me,
same with you.
Malpractice.
Yeah,
It would be
Ty.
malpractice.
Ty,
to
it's
He
not his
needs to
fault.
be
I
back.
mean, believe me, they're gonna try whatever. Well, go ahead, Ty.
He just needs to be the power production that he provided this year and just over the course of his tenure with the Phillies. It's tough to imagine the lineup just without that power, without that thump. He brings so much of it, and it would be tough to replace. You could get creative to try to, I don't know, to reference Moneyball, try to recreate it in the aggregate.
The aggregate.
You could do
Here we go.
you could do different things. But it doesn't feel like the sum of those parts would be able to equal what Schwarber brings.
Yeah, let me throw you a slight variation of this to get your thoughts. So let's decide we decide to trade Alec Bohm for just an exercise. Decide to trade Alec Bohm. Would you guys be okay with Otto Kemp and Edmundo Sosa there? I think Edmundo Sosa is going to play when there's a tough lefty. He'll play for Bryson Stott.
To start the season, yes, but again, this is all contingent on what Aiden Miller does in April and May too.
I personally don't. I think that would be a little weak. Kemp,
Defensively.
less so in the second go around, but the first time he was up, he really struggled on defense at third base, and I don't doubt that he'll put in the work on that. But the combination of it feels like when Sosa has to face a lot of right-handers, some of the chase issues that he has, it leads to a lot of strikeouts and can lead to some slumps, combined with some of the defensive questions. And Kemp, I think he's a nice young player, but overall he was a below-average hitter for the season. And we talked about Dombrowski mentioned some injuries in that press conference that we talked about, but I don't know. I think that would leave you pretty weak for the first half of the season.
Yeah, I really think that the Phillies are going to convince themselves at the beginning of the season Otto Kemp could be an everyday player because they're going off the shoulder and the broken kneecap. I don't know if that's correct. I think what they should do is probably try to improve at third base. I don't know if that's him, but yeah, to agree with your point, Ty, that's a big jump for him.
But by the way, when you look at, if you look at chasing, percentage or strikeout, Otto Kemp is way up here. Huh?
Yeah, all the things you worry about with this Phillies lineup.
Which is, Alec Bohm, at least he makes contact and he keeps the ball in play.
He does. I think the idea would be you wouldn't be improving at third base by moving to Kemp. But if you're flipping Bo for something else, maybe overall you're in a better spot because you haven't. The hope would be that you wouldn't lose much at third base by going to Kemp. Sometimes Sosa.
The other thing is that you trade for somebody, right? You could potentially trade for somebody else and that make better contact and helps improve the overall lineup.
The Phillies last offseason, their free agent signings were not good at all. Where they, had a big win in the offseason was they nailed a blockbuster trade for Jesus Luzardo, and I think this year the free agent stuff might be kind of straightforward. It might just be bringing back Schwarber and Real Muto, and where they can make the real differences and make the real additions is they have to nail a couple trades again.
Yeah, no, fair. I think the trade is what is harder to see because we don't see what the Magic.
Of course.
The Magic Ball will tell you, but the reality is that there is trades possibilities here, both in the outfield and potentially at third base that could have some big implications.
So would you trade Crawford and Bohm to Boston for one of their really elite outfielders? A right-handed
or Duran or somebody like Duran.
Like a Duran or something.
They have really elite outfielders, and
they're all lefties.
Some of them are right-handed.
They're all lefties.
Yeah,
how are you feeling about it? Because
I'll take Roman Anthony any day of the week. I'll trade you.
But I think he's the one they're not going to part.
Yeah, of course.
I think for where this Phillies team is in its life cycle, it could absolutely make sense. Do you want to go through growing pains with Justin Crawford, even if you're high on him like I am, when you've got basically a team of veterans that feel like they're right there to win it all in 2026? It's tough because you want the team to be getting younger. You want internal improvement. You want to build through the farm system, and then you take a look at it and say, we're right there on the doorstep. Can we live with building with these guys? And
what I would tell the veterans: you guys have 4 chances. Yeah. We got to get younger at somewhere. Yeah. So deal with it.
Roger, I would consider that kind of trade for like a Rafaela, like the Red Sox. I think that would sort of make some sense if you don't bring back Bader. He was one of the elite center fielders this year. He played other positions too, but he was incredible in center and right-handed hitter. I don't know. I would consider that. I think that's sort of an interesting thing to think about.
Jeff, you mentioned Aiden Miller. Why did they not give him any playing time at third base last year when it's sort of obvious now?
So I kind of at the trade deadline, I knew where the answer was going, but I wanted to get from the horse's mouth. Dombrowski, we view him as a shortstop. We believe he is going to be a long-term shortstop. So I followed up with that after the season and said, well, you got Trey Turner there, right? And he's like, well, we obviously have a shortstop. So now they're more inclined to play him at another position. So I think they're going to try him at second. They're going to try him at third. I think it's going to end up being third.
All right. I mean, that's what we've all been talking about. Everybody other than the Phillies organization has been sort of saying, well, looking at this slide here, you've got a third baseman that's pretty promising. It's just strange that they didn't look far enough ahead to give him some play there last season.
Because you knew Trey wasn't going anywhere.
So I think we have to allow for the fact that Dave Dombrowski's on the, he's past his peak, right? He's not quite as well tuned to the environment as he once was, and I think, he's still brilliant. And I mean, the Luzardo trade.
He's just like Bryce Harper, right? He's been elite. Now he's great. Can he be elite again? I got the same questions for him.
The answer is, I think he can have. He's made a lot of really good moves since the beginning of this season, and I'm very hopeful that he'll have a good offseason. But I think it starts with recognizing that the core is incredible, and it's profitable for the team to have this core. So you don't want to tear it down. That means you got to bring back, Schwarber and I think Real Muto, right? Because Real Muto keeps. But I think it also means you bring back Bader, because Bader solved a problem. And unless Ceddanne Rafaela or somebody like that's available, I think you got to play with the ones you got.
Yeah, it just feels like Schwarber's such a good fit for this team if he's not the heart of the team. And Bader's another guy who came in, he had success in Philadelphia, which, you can't take for granted. Some guys, they move over from another city and it just doesn't work out. You've got a couple guys here where it worked out great. So I'm with you, Roger. Bring him back.
Yeah, I mean, what happens if you don't bring Bader? If you don't bring Bader, I mean, it just complicates things more, because he solves you a couple of holes, right? He solves you the defensive, a good center fielder, a very, very good center fielder, and he solves you also that guy that could come in and clutch, and that could come in at any point and any time. You can hit him seventh, and the guy could produce from a seventh hole. The problem is, and if you don't bring him in, then you're going to have Crawford's better in left than in center, and March is better in the corner as a corner outfielder than a center fielder. It weakens your defense, which is something that Roger was speaking about.
Yeah, it weakens your defense, and you probably end up with Marsh in center just about every day.
which nobody wants, including Marsh.
That play that he made there for a triple. I mean, the same one like Teoscar Hernandez did in the World Series. I mean, jumping at balls.
That dive,
keep it a base hit, guys. Keep it as a base hit.
Keep it in front of you.
The ball in front of you. I mean, don't be Superman. I mean, sometimes you gotta know when enough is enough. Go ahead.
But he's great as a corner guy. Great defense in the corners.
Yeah. Oh, tremendous defense. Had a great arm. I mean, I would love this outfield. I mean, I think this outfield could be a tremendous asset for the team. I do believe that. Go ahead.
I think he hits better when he's in the corner too.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. It puts less pressure on him and
less pressure on him.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So the last slide that I had is kind of the key dates as we start looking at the at the postseason. now the offseason. I mean, today they're giving believe it or not, today they're giving the Gold Gloves, and I don't think Harper won first base, and I doubt Turner won shortstop either. So not
I
sure.
didn't see any posts from the Phillies, so I assume they didn't win it.
Yeah, I know Harper didn't. I know I saw a tweet somewhere that Harper didn't. So, so the deadline to make qualifying offers is going to be it's $22 million. It's going to be on the 6th. Probably both Schwarber and Ranger Suarez they're going to be giving them qualifying offers. Probably to both of them. That would be my guess. Free agency begins on the 6th as well. Silver sluggers are going to be announced in one league on the 6th and the other league on the 7th. The award week where Cy Young and MVPs and all that is going to happen November 10th and 13th. Also on the 11th and 13th is a GM meeting in Las Vegas. So you're going to talking about trades. That's where some things could happen. The other thing you're going to see here, the qualifying offers, a decision needs to be made on qualifying offers, need to be made on the 18th. So they're given on the 6th, and a player needs to make a decision on the 18th. Deadline to file for that 40-man roster. We're going to have to see some movements of players that are not going to go on that dry 5 rule needs to be made on the 18th. Non-tender deadlines are the 21st. Hall of Fame, the contemporary committee, where you're going to see players like one day they hope Barry Bonds and Pete Rose and some of the other guys will be made. Chilling will be made on that day. I'm not making any promises to anyone, but those are the dates. That would be December 7th. December 7th to the 10th are the winter meetings in Orlando. Then the draft lottery happens on December 9th, the Rule 5 on December 10th. Arbitration filing deadline starts January 9th. Internationally signing period, and there is a player based on Baseball America that is going to be is going to be announced. Let me see here. Is a guy from Venezuela. Baseball America mentioned that he's going to be coming over. He's a really, really good player. His name is Francisco Renteria. That's the player of Baseball America. It's a 5-tool player, super fast, can play center field. A guy from Venezuela sent me a picture of him, and he says he's the next Chorrio. So imagine if we can get a Chorrio out of this guy, Francisco Renteria. So look at Ty laughing, huh? You like that Chorrio kid from Milwaukee? He's a ball player. Hopefully we can get him there. So signing period starts on January 15th. Hall of Fame class announced. I believe there's a player from the Phillies pitcher that I think is going to be qualified to make it. One of the Phillies pitchers, I think he's qualified. He'll be qualified to make it to the Hall of Fame. Then we have arbitration hearings happening January 26th and 29th. Spring training starts in mid-February. And then the World Baseball Classic. Now, I just wanted to stop just for 1 second talking about the World Baseball Classic. I'm very worried how many players are going to be allowed and not allowed to make it to the World Baseball Classic, because the season starts almost a week later. I mean, after on March 25th. So it's going to be very,
Oscar, Cole Hamels is eligible for the Hall of Fame for the first time this year.
Cole Hamels.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So Cole Hamels, hopefully he'll have some great voting there, and hopefully we see Cole Hamels as a Hall of Famer, as another Phil's Hall of Famer. And then, I mean, I don't know, World Baseball Classic, who is allowed to go, who's not allowed to go. Remember, last time we sent Ranger, he came back with some arm issues, and we missed him for almost a month. So,
well, and Turner, it completely messed up Turner's swing, because he was swinging at all these 87-mile-an-hour pitches in the World Baseball Classic, hit all those home runs.
Putting on a show.
He was the greatest player ever in the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, and then he hit like 050 for the first 2 months of the year. No, I think it's super high downside, low upside situation for us.
So look, it's going to be very interesting who is allowed, who's not allowed. My understanding is Harper wanted to be in this team. and potentially Schwarber. They would want Schwarber in the team as well. So
I don't mind if Schwarber goes. I don't think that affects him as much.
yeah. Harper, I mean, health-wise is the concern, right? I mean, if he plays there, but I believe he's signed up to be the first baseman of the U.S. team. So that would be.
He signed. He signed up. I
Last
think
time he
JT
was
did
hurt.
too.
Yeah, last time he was hurt. I don't think JT signed up this year, but I think last time he did.
Yeah.
And the other thing,
But you can always pull it too. So.
Yeah, you can always pull it back. But again, this is the counter. We're going to come back to you with Phillies Weekly throughout the offseason. As news comes in, Jeff told me I'll be the first one there. He wants to be the first one with the news out there. So
You know what? I want to go to the winter meetings in Orlando. I need excuses to go to Disney World, so buckle up.
So buckle up. December 7th to the 10th. Hey, we have the Eagles season in the middle of the whole dynamic there. So I know we play the 13th. We play the Chicago Bears. So we'll see what happens there. But hey guys,
No. That week is the Chargers on Monday night, and then you play the Raiders on Sunday.
Okay.
The Bears are Black Friday.
Okay, got it. Fair point. That's true.
I have the schedule right in front of me.
I knew it. I knew you were gonna get me for that. Hey guys, any final words, John, from your end?
No,
To see how this is gonna play out.
I think just to see the forest for the trees. They're still a great team, and it's messy. We looked at that slide. There's a lot of changes that need to be made. But in the end, you're going to have a team that's going to come back next year and compete for a championship, which we can't always say.
Opening day, March 26th. Thank you, Kevin. How about you, Roger? Anything interesting, words of advice, suggestions that you have for Dave Dombrowski before he goes in and do all his
I
magic?
think Dave is smart enough not to listen to me. But my great hope on this thing is that he has a plan that, I think he's had the right approach the last few seasons. I just think he's gotten the wrong people to solve the problems. He went for the right things and just kept picking the wrong people. Then he got Luzardo. And I look at this and I go, just go for it, dude. And, but whatever you do, do not cut back. This team, there are about 5 different ways we could have won this World Series without even breaking a sweat. And, better umpiring, and we'd have been the team in the World Series. And I think we could have handled those guys.
We gotta hit the right time, right Ty?
I hear you, Oscar. We actually didn't need any more hitting than we got. We just needed better officiating, and we needed the bullpen not to blow up that one time. And either one of those, you didn't need both, but either one of those, and you win that series. And it's like, I'm just looking at it and going, I don't think it's broke.
No, I agree. I think we have the core. I don't think we want to reinvent the wheel.
Culture really matters.
Yeah, and I think the team wants to
bring Schwarber
and JT. The team wants to bring Schwarber and JT.
But Harper and Turner are both, inwardly focused. They're not the rah-rah guys. So we definitely need Bader and Schwarber. And I think there's no question about that, because we have a team full of professionals, and you need to complement the professionals with the gung-ho guys, or you never get there.
Ty, what story are you? Thank you, Roger. What story are you working on Phillies Nation this week?
Just kind of mapping out the offseason. We're continuing our Stay or Go series, where all our writers, we kind of pitch in on the free agents. Do we think they should stay, will stay? And we put a poll in at the end for the fans and readers to vote on, and then once we get through it, we'll post the results too. So, stay on the lookout for that, where we analyze who should stay, who should go.
Follow Phillies Nation. Ty follows John on 2008 Phils. There you go. 2008. Do me a favor, John. Once we win the next World Series, you change the Twitter handle.
I would love to. It's about 17 years old at this point. I think we're due for a new one.
Yeah. Come on. Now you're overage, man. You cannot drink yet.
By the way, guys, my Twitter handle will be changing soon. I haven't decided what it is yet.
Please don't put my name on it, okay? Just kidding, Jeff.
No.
Roger, when is the next concert? Moon Allen's concert. When is the next Moon Allen's concert?
We're not playing until the new year. We're done for this year. January 2nd and January 4th.
Well-deserved vacation, Roger.
Bay Area.
Roger,
Yeah,
next time you're here with us,
vacation.
next time you're here with us, we're gonna say goodbye with you and the guitar. We need you in the guitar. How about that?
But I just hope that we all get together next season, because you can't predict the future, and I'm just really looking forward to 2026 being the year.
We'll be here. 2026 is All-Star game in Philly. I mean, it's the 250th year of our independence. I mean, we're gonna make it happen. This is the year. It'll be a super special. Dave will have a few magic trades under his leaves, and hopefully we'll be there. Jeff, any final words before we close it?
You know what, guys? I'm cautiously optimistic about my future in this. So we'll see. It's been a rough week.
Jeff, come on.
I don't like to count any chickens. I just until something is signed. It's going to take me a while. Again, I gave 10 years to an awesome company that, just decided we're going to let you go. So it's been tough.
Yeah, no, we know it's been a tough week, but remember, we love you. We appreciate and respect and honor everything that you do every single day. We expect you to be here. You are one of the founding members of Phillies Weekly, and we'll be here. We'll be here for you as we go throughout the off season and beginning of next year. I mean, John, Ty, Roger, all the respect in the world. Thank you guys for being with Jeff and I throughout the whole journey. And everyone that was part of Phillies Weekly this year. We'll close the year, but we'll come back during the off season and come back with some exciting things for all of you guys. Thank you so much for being with all of you. And this is not Fly Eagles Fly. It's Go Phils. Let's go. Let's do it.
Go
Take
Phils.
it easy, guys.
Thanks, Oscar. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys. You guys are the
Thanks,
best.
guys.
Thank you so much.
Lanzamiento, aquí viene un batazo de Mundito entre right center field, la bola pica, se extiende, viene anotando Stott, empata el juego, también manda para la bola Turner anota y los Phillies se van arriba. Se prepara Mundito en segunda, el lanzamiento, batazo profundo para el center field, la bola se va, Schwarber bomb, campanazo. Aquí viene el lanzamiento. Swing y